champagne glass shattered against the marble floor. Instantly, all 300 guests went silent. I was standing there, slurring my way through the worst best man speech in history. The one where I decided to expose my brother Marcus and his beautiful bride Sarah for their so-called fake romance. The evidence? A string of texts I'd found on Marcus's old, discarded phone. I was drunk, bitter, and raw from my own recent divorce. So I held up the phone and announced to the hushed room she's been texting someone named Alex for months, sending paragraphs about love and how much they miss each other, all while she was planning this wedding. The words felt like venom, but I couldn't stop. I started reading their intimate messages aloud, my voice echoing in the horrified silence. I didn't get far before security guards were dragging me out. Marcus tried to stop me, his face a mask of disbelief. Sarah just ran, her white dress disappearing as she sobbed. Her family started screaming at me, pure hatred in their eyes. That was the night my parents officially disowned me. They called me a jealous, destructive monster. And you know what? They were right about the destruction. But they were completely wrong about why. I spent the next 3 years trying to apologize. It was like shouting into a void. Marcus never answered my calls, never responded to a single message. My mother was even more direct. She blocked my number and sent one final text. "You are no longer my son," so I accepted it. I had to. I moved clear across the country, got sober, and started the long, hard road of therapy. I began to build a new life, but I carried the guilt of that night like a stone in my chest, a constant, heavy reminder of the man I had been. Then, one rainy afternoon, I saw her, Rachel, Sarah's maid of honor, sitting in a quiet coffee shop thousands of miles from home. She recognized me instantly. Her face was grim. "Marcus died last week," she said, her voice flat. "It was a car accident. Sarah, she wants you at the funeral." The grief hit me like a physical blow, knocking the air from my lungs. But right behind it came a wave of confusion. Why? Why would she ever want me there after what I did? Rachel pulled out her phone and showed me a photo. It was Marcus, lying in a hospital bed, looking frail but smiling. The timestamp was from 6 months before the wedding. Marcus had stage 4 pancreatic cancer, she explained softly. The doctors gave him 6 months, maybe a year if he was lucky. He didn't tell anyone except Sarah. He just wanted one perfect day. One day where everyone saw him as the groom, not as a dying man. My vision blurred, the coffee shop fading around me. The texts, those texts I'd read. "Alex," I whispered. Alex was his oncologist, Dr. Alexandra Chan. Rachel's voice cracked. Sarah was secretly coordinating his treatment, desperately trying to get him into experimental trials. Those love messages you read out loud. They were about hope, about fighting for more time, about how much they missed the simple idea of a future together. She continued, the words hitting me one by one. Sarah found trials that bought him 3 more years. 3 years he got to spend married to the woman he loved. 3 years your speech almost completely destroyed. But why didn't they tell me? I asked, my own voice sounding distant and hollow. Marcus forgave you almost immediately, Rachel said. He knew you were acting from your own pain, not from pure malice. But Sarah, she couldn't face you. Every time she thought about that night, she remembered the shame. She remembered feeling like a liar in front of everyone, when all she was doing was fighting with everything she had to save his life. At the funeral, Sarah found me. She wrapped her arms around me in a tight hug. He loved you, Ryan, she said, her voice thick with tears. He understood, but her forgiveness felt like acid. I hadn't just made a drunken fool of myself. I had tried to destroy my dying brother's final wish for happiness. Later, after the service, she told me more. You know, Marcus said something strange about that night. He said what you did showed him my true strength. That when I married him anyway, in a quiet courthouse ceremony the very next week, he knew nothing could ever break us. It proved that nothing mattered more to me than being his wife. So yes, she said, looking me straight in the eye, those 3 years were worth everything. I had spent all this time trying to become a better man, trying to atone for destroying their happiness. But I hadn't destroyed it. Despite my worst efforts, they got married anyway. They had 3 beautiful, stolen years together anyway. Last month, a letter arrived. It was from Marcus, written a year before he died. Sarah had sent it to me. It read, "Ryan, you gave me a gift that night. You showed me the depth of Sarah's strength, and you gave yourself a reason to finally get sober. I forgave you the moment it happened. In a weird way, we passed that test together. So please, stop punishing yourself for a mistake that accidentally led to the best 3 years of my life. I keep that letter in my wallet now. It's my most prized possession, but here's the thing that haunts me, the question that keeps me up late at night. I don't know if I'm a better man because I genuinely changed, or if I just got incredibly lucky that my worst mistake didn't break what I thought it did. I wonder. If I had known the truth from the beginning, that Marcus was dying, and those texts were a desperate cry for hope, would I have ever found the motivation to become this person? Or would I have just stayed broken, with no unforgivable sin forcing me to atone? My brother forgave me for a crime I didn't fully understand I was committing. But I am not sure I can ever forgive myself for who I might have remained if I'd known the truth all along. Sometimes we only become better people because we believe we were far worse than we actually were. And I will live the rest of my life never knowing which version of me is the real one.